This is day 323 of Zohar Pshat. We're doing Daf Lam Vav Amid Aleph. We're let's see. We identified it. It's a paragraph between Terei Shaki Tov, and we're 6 lines above that, and it's parallel to Avos Rabbi Nosson. Ma Ovid O Rasha. What did that wicked entity do to Nachash? Amar, he said, "Hamatisi Ailona, I touched the tree. V'lo mati, I didn't die. Of at karivu mati biyodech bei. So do you come and touch it with your hand? V'lo tamus, you won't die." And as Avos Rabbi Nosson says, this other should add it to her on his own without telling her that he was adding on his own. That she should not only should not eat from the tree, she also may not touch the tree, and she'll die if she touches the tree. So by not telling her that it was a chumin d'Rabbanan, which he was imposing, and not the command of Kodesh Baruch Hu, this led to this misunderstanding. It led to Chava saying to herself, "Well, if Adam was wrong about that, who knows what else he was wrong about?" So therefore, she was able to convince her to submit more readily to the seduction of the Nachash. She saw it was good. But what did she see? On Rabbi Yitzchak, he said, that tree was extremely fragrant. And we know fragrance is a sign of spirituality, because fragrance is the most ethereal of our senses, one which has the least substance to it. And evidently, you can sense a holy fragrance. As it says, Kadena Marta, like Yitzchak, when Yaakov came in, and Yitzchak identified the fragrance coming from Yaakov as a fragrance of Gan Eden. So it's a special fragrance that came from the tree. It says about Mashiach. Mashiach comes, Rambam leaves that out. Rambam doesn't make that one of the basic qualifications to be Mashiach. You don't have to be Haricho B'Yiras Hashem. But the Mashiach will be able to smell whether the person has Yiras Hashem or not. So this idea is that there's a fragrance that comes from a person which is identifiable by Mashiach, perhaps great tzaddikim, and could identify it as well. In any event, the fragrance is something which persuaded Chava. There's something really powerful here. Must be something very good. It was very powerful. It was very good, but also was not good as well. And because that fragrance just came out from the tree, she had the desire to eat from it. No, it's not something she smelled, it's something she saw. Seeing is also a very ethereal sense, the power of sight. But obviously, this idea was superficial. I think Reach is more intrinsic. Riyah is more superficial. So, but that in of itself is convincing. It says that the eyes of both of them were opened up. Evidently it's not I think it's a question. It's a question. It says her eyes only open afterwards. So what do you mean she saw? What did she see? Her eyes were closed up, not literally, but spiritually beforehand. So actually, see something. He said, "Hi, Riyah b'shudi learn the katzalei." So the Derech Emes explains, "Shirah sebisiko shir ha'ilon the kochob of it shenasna of shir v'koach michal lemida zu shuilon lepiryo. Adez agam la'atzma precious lios mufreshes mi bala b'yemei nidusa." The truma, it says him said truma. Interesting. She saw the quality of the tree beforehand. So the question is, she saw afterwards, yes, but she was able to assess the quality of the tree beforehand. And it says here, the libas habas. It was a shear in her heart. In other words, she was able to assess the concept of the tree as a tree. After the in a whole different way. But this is able to see the tree, to see Patera Isha Daika. It says that she was able to see before Patera she saw that was an amazing, remarkable tree. So the power of Patibracha and Hashem afterwards is not the same thing as the real woman saw before. The real she saw before is just focused on the tree itself. The Bracha and Hashem was much more global and much more about seeing things in a different way than they saw before, which included that they saw they were naked. But at this point, the woman saw that she was the tree, and she saw how powerful the tree was. So, but whether it's reach, whether it's re'iyah, whether she was a fragrance or whether it was what she saw, regardless, that the Averas don't come always looking bad. It's like what Simcha Zissel Broida told me once that, of course, it's a classic Slabot Kamusar, when if Esau comes in the base of Medrash, he doesn't come in looking like a cowboy, like a gangster. He comes in looking like a Rosh Hashiva with a frock and amber. And it's not that he comes in and looks like somebody who's playing frock and amber, playing Rosh Hashiva, pulling him off. No. He's really a Rosh Hashiva, really a Rav, really comes in looking holy. So the idea is that even Re'iyah, right? It says you have, but it says you can't judge, and like Shmuel says, like Hashem said to Shmuel when he wanted to anoint one of the Yishai's other kids, not to look at him, and also not to smell him. Even the fragrance you can't trust. Mashiach is a special gift, but normally under normal circumstances you can't trust your senses at all. You have to go by what HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells you. You can't use your senses to override him, even if you think your senses are giving you a very powerful message. So that's part and parcel of the test, the same test which a Novi Sheker represents. So Baruch says he'll give you no sir of my face. So therefore the Nisayon was very great, and the Nisayon of Novi Sheker is very great. But and had the Isha not had that additional issue that Adam told her not to touch it, and she touched, and nothing happened, so then perhaps she would have realized, hey, they shouldn't succumb. But that was the Pesach, the opening, and then the rest followed. Okay, we'll stop here.